BJT small signal operation and model presented by Mellow Outlook. So with this basics, let us move on to the small signal operation of the transistor. Figure A shows the conceptual amplifier circuit, and here the base emitter junction is forward bias, and to reverse bias the collector base junction, the collector is connected to the supply, that is VCC, via the resistance RC. The input signal to be amplified is obtained by superimposing the instantaneous value of VBE with the DC value of VBE. If you want to obtain the DC condition, what we do is we remove this instantaneous value of VB, that is we set this instantaneous value of VB to be equal to 0, and we obtain the equivalent circuit for the DC condition. After eliminating the equivalent circuit, you can see that this voltage is VBE, the current across this is IB, IC, IE and VC. All of these currents and voltages are represented by the uppercase with the uppercase subscript just to indicate that they are DC. And these equations which are mentioned corresponding to the collector current, emitter current, base current and the output voltage VC are applicable to the DC conditions. Now, since we are operating the transistor in the active mode, we should remember that the collector voltage should be greater than the base voltage minus 0.4, which is the amount that will allow for the required signal swing at the collector. The next topic is collector current and the transconductance. So you can see here we have considered the DC circuit, and the total instantaneous base emitter voltage VB will become VB to be equal to capital VBE plus VBE, and the corresponding value of current, that is the collector current, is represented in terms of instantaneous value as IC to be equal to IS e to the power VB by VT. So if you see here, this IS corresponds to the saturation current, and because we have represented VBE to be equal to VB plus VBE, so substituting for VBE, we get it in this particular form. So now this exponential term addition can be replaced with multiplication. So we have IC to be equal to IS e to the power VB by VT, e to the power multiplied with e to the power VB by VT. And we know that DC current IC is equal to IS e to the power VB by VT. So substituting that, we have that instantaneous value of collector current is equal to the DC collector current multiplied by the term e to the power VB by VT. If we consider that the value of VBE is very less than the threshold voltage, then we have this term to be equal to IC to be equal to, that is instantaneous value of collector current will be equal to IC multiplied with 1 plus VB by VT, and this is represented as equation number 1. In continuing, we have VB is the signal that is applied. So this equation 1 that we had obtained, if you see here, this equation 1 is called as the small signal approximation, and this instantaneous current IC is equal to IC plus IC by VT into VB. The collector current is basically, it is composed of DC bias value IC and the signal component IC. So the second part of the equation, that is IC equal to IC by VT into VBE, will give us the relationship between the signal current, that is the collector current, and the base emitter voltage. So we have IC to be equal to GM into VBE, where GM is the transconductance, which is given by GM to be equal to IC by VT. If you can recall from the transistor fundamentals tutorial, we know that the threshold voltage is given by a value of 25.9 millivolt. So coming to the graphical representation of GM, that is the slope of IC versus VB characteristic curve, wherein we have this IC value, that is instantaneous value of collector current, to be equal to the DC bias current at the Q point. So if there is a small signal variation, you can see there is a corresponding variation in the collector current. So we have been representing the DC value of base emitter voltage by this particular point which is shown, and the DC value of collector current is shown by this particular line, whereas the smallest instantaneous value is represented by small VBE, which shows the variation about the, and similarly you can see the way the collector current is varying, and this slope, that is the ratio of the collector current and the threshold voltage, gives you the transconductance. So what we need to understand from this curve is that any small signal approximation or implies that we need to keep the signal amplitude small, and this restricts to a linear segment of ICVB, which is exponential curve. So increasing the signal amplitude, IC will have the components which is non-linear related to VBE, and if this VBE is less than the threshold value, then the transistor behaves as a voltage controlled current source, and the input port of this controlled source will be the base and the emitter, whereas the output port will be the collector and the emitter, and GM, that is the transconductance, will be the controlled source, whereas R0 will be considered to be infinite. So moving on, let us see how to compute the base current and the input resistance at the base. So they have given us a transistor, and the instantaneous value of the base current is represented as IB, and the voltage between the base and the emitter is represented by VBE, and this resistance, input resistance at the base, is represented as R pi. So we need to find out and calculate as to how we have obtained this value of R pi. So we know from the equation that IB is equal to IC by beta. All the equations, if you can just remember, all the DC equations are applicable to the AC equations also. It's just that the notation is different. You need to be very careful when you write the uppercase and the lowercase letters. So you can see that IB is equal to IC by beta, and IC is equal to capital IC, that is the DC quantity, plus the signal component, that is VB IC by VT. So you know that this corresponds to, this IC by beta corresponds to a DC component of the base current, and this corresponds to the signal component. So you have the signal component to be equal to 1 by beta IC by VT into VB. If you substitute IC by VT to be equal to the transconductance, this equation becomes IB to be equal to GM by beta into VB. So you have we have named it as equation number 4. So the small signal input resistance between the base and the emitter looking into the base can be obtained as R pi to be equal to VB by IB, and that is given by equation number 5. So in continuing, if you substitute the equation number 4 in equation number 5, R pi is equal to VB by GM by beta into VBE, or R pi is equal to beta by GM. So we can see that R pi is directly dependent on beta. You can see it is directly proportional, and it is inversely proportional to the bias current IC that is seen in the previous equation. R pi, if you substitute here in place of GM, this becomes inversely proportional. So substituting GM is equal to IC by VT and replacing IC by beta equal to IB, we obtain R pi to be equal to VT by IB. So you need to remember these equations because it is essential while solving the numericals. Now coming to the design part, I have just dotted down here all the equations required in order to solve the problems. So the design is all based on these equations whichever we have derived now. So be careful with the representation because there are instantaneous values as well as DC values. This threshold value of voltage is equal to 25.9 millivolt. So let us solve a numerical and find out how this works. So here the question says calculate the value of the transconductance for a BJT biased at IC is equal to 0.5 milliamps. So the value of IC is given to be equal to 0.5 milliamps, and we know that GM is equal to IC by VT. So VT value sometimes will not be given, but you should remember this value. So that value is 25.9 milli, and on substituting you get GM, that is transconductance, to be equal to 20 milliamps per volt. Unit has to be remembered very well. That is because GM, that is transconductance, is current divided by voltage. So let us solve another numerical which says a BJT amplifier is biased to operate at a constant collector current IC to be equal to 0.5 milliamps irrespective of the value of beta. And if the transistor manufacturer specifies the beta to range between 50 to 200, give the expected range of GM, IB and RPi. This question is a very good example which says that though the manufacturer specifies a transistor, the beta value can change. So it is very much clear in this question that the beta value changes from 50 to 200. So whatever we have understood in the transistor fundamentals is very much useful here. So this question says that IC value is 0.5 milliamps, beta is ranging between 50 to 200, and we need to compute what is IB, GM and RPi. So first we will compute what is GM, that is transconductance, that is IC by VT. Again the question doesn't specify the value of VT, so assume the value, that is 25.9 milliamps, and you get it as 20 milliamps per volt. So because the value of beta is different, we need to compute the value of IB and RPi differently. So RPi is equal to, if you see in the equation, it is equal to beta divided by GM. So you have this value to be equal to 2.5 kilo ohms, and IB is computed as VT by RPi, so that gives you a value of 10.36 microamps. For a beta equal to 200, RPi will be equal to 10 kilo ohms and IB will be equal to 2.59 microamps. So you can clearly see that when the beta value varies, the base current is also varying. Next, coming to computing the emitter current and the input resistance at the emitter. So the total emitter current in terms of instantaneous value, we know that in terms of DC value, IE is equal to IC by alpha. In terms of instantaneous value, we have the DC component as well as the signal component. So separately we are going to compute. So we have IE to be equal to IE plus IE, and this basically gives you the RMS value or the average value, whereas this gives you the DC value and this gives you the instantaneous value of emitter current. So this signal current IE is equal to IC by alpha, which is denoted here in equation 1, and we know that IE is equal to IC by alpha into VT into VB. So I can write this as equal to IE by VT into VB. So this is equal to equation 3. And the small signal resistance between the base and the emitter, looking into the emitter, is nothing but VB divided by IE, which is represented as RE. So if you substitute equation 3 in equation 4, we get RE to be equal to VT by IE, which we have named this as equation number 5. So continuing with the derivation, RE becomes your emitter resistance, and we know that the transconductance is IC by VT, so I have named this as equation number 6. So if you compare the equation number 5 with equation number 6, what we have in common is that VT and we have IE. So rearranging, we get it as IC by GM to be equal to VT, and since IC by alpha is equal to IE, we can rewrite this equation as RE to be equal to alpha by GM. The value of alpha, as we know, is close to approximately equal to 1, which is 0.9998, close to 1. Now let us find out. So this slide gives you the relationship between the two things that we have studied, that is the input resistance at the emitter and the input resistance at the base, which are represented by RE and RPi respectively. So the two equations are considered and we are trying to find out the relationship between the two of them. So from equation 1 and 2, we have one common parameter, and that is VBE, the instantaneous value of the base emitter voltage. and that can be written as IB into R pi, that is equal to RE into IE. So rewriting R pi is equal to IE by IB into RE, equation number 4, and we know that emitter current is the sum of base current and the collector current. Also the collector current is beta times IB, so we get it as IE by IB is equal to 1 plus beta. And when you substitute this equation number 5 in equation number 4, we get R pi to be equal to 1 plus beta into RE. This is one of the important derivations which is usually asked, so kindly remember this. Now coming to the design part, like we have seen for the design of computing the input resistance at the base, so similar equations are applicable here as well. You need to remember the resistance looking into the emitter, how it is computed, and what is the relationship between the resistance at the base and the emitter, and the value of alpha and the value of the threshold voltage. So coming to the first numerical, which says a BJT has a beta value of 100, which is biased at a DC collector current of 1 milliamps, and we need to find out the value of GM, RE and R pi at the bias point. So beta is 100, IC is 1 milli, GM is equal to IC by VT, that gives a value of 40 milliamps per volt. RE is equal to 1 by GM. Usually alpha will be taken approximately equal to 1, so directly we have written it as 1 by GM, so this is equal to 25 ohms. And the relationship between RE and R pi, this equation will give us the value of R pi, which is equal to 2.5 kilo ohm.